When will the oscillation of Bitcoin end? If you're interested in knowing more about this, please keep watching. Let's look at the 4-hour chart directly. From there, let's judge if the recent uptrend we've experienced this week is valid. Is there a possibility that it will lead to the next bullish trend? The uptrend, which starts from here. We can explore the past instances when oscillation ended and examine the characteristics of valid starting points for upward movement. For example, we can look at the previous significant price increases and how they started. Let's see. What did potential qualified starting points look like? For example, we can compare it with an earlier instance that established a starting point here. And, of course, there were earlier instances, such as here. Hold on. Let me turn on auto mode. These starting points, such as the one we have here, were considered valid. And they had certain characteristics. We can deduce some key points from these characteristics. Now, let's look at these recent waves. For example, the movement within this white box. You can observe that in the early stages of the uptrend, the bullish volume was strong, completely overpowering the bearish volume. Let's compare it to the current white box. Is it possible for it to become a starting point? I believe it's unlikely. Because if you look at the performance of the volume below, the supply even surpasses the demand. If we make a comparison, we can clearly see that the volume situation of the current market conditions is vastly different than that of the previous one. Furthermore, if we examine the qualified starting points from before, the retracements were very small, both in terms of candle length and volume. The retracement range was also quite limited, indicating that it was essentially continuing the upward movement. However, at this point, the retracement has already taken up a significant portion of the overall price increase, making it invalid. Additionally, during the downward movement, bearish candles also exhibited significant volume. Alright. Let's make another comparison. In this current upward movement, the starting point looks like this. Now, if we look back, for instance, at this point, we can actually conclude that despite the different price levels and timing, the behavior is nearly identical. The retracement is very small, accompanied by low volume and a minimal decrease in price. There is almost no significant pullback, and the bullish momentum completely dominates, while the demand remains consistently strong, without intermittent interruptions. However, if we observe the current market movement, it is intermittent, with the demand showing sporadic behavior. It differs from the previous valid starting points. Therefore, I believe that at this point, the structure hasn't been formed for the next upward movement. Perhaps we need to wait until next week for an opportunity, because today is already Thursday, and we haven't seen a strong bullish structure yet. If we go back to the early stage of this current bullish trend, what pattern did we have? Although the timing and price levels differ, we can almost summarize the rules as identical. Now, if we come back to the current market situation, I would think that we might have to wait until next week for an opportunity. The chance may have already diminished this week, and at best, we can expect more oscillation opportunities. However, our channel doesn't favor oscillation trades. Okay. Another point to consider is that we have been in a 20-day period of oscillation, slightly longer than that. Such a prolonged period of oscillation is not advantageous for the bullish side. In fact, if the bulls were strong, we would expect to see a short retracement after an upward movement, rather than an extended period of consolidation before the next upward move, when you wouldn't get an opportunity to enter the market. That's the strongest bullish trend, I would say. So, the fact that we have been in such a prolonged period of consolidation indicates that the resistance around $30,000 still exists. However, this doesn't affect the current retracement. In terms of the magnitude of the retracement, it is strong. Currently, the retracement has only reached the 23.6% level, which is typically seen in the early stages of a significant bullish move. The 23.6% retracement is considered quite strong, and this type of retracement appears even more robust compared to the regular retracements. This is evident from the structural perspective as well. During the upward movement, we experienced a horizontal consolidation, which is not the more commonly observed downward correction, which is relatively weaker. When it comes to the retracement ratio and structure, the horizontal price correction is more dominant. The only issue is that it has taken a significantly long time Time has indeed been prolonged. Okay. Moreover, if we review the previous instances of bullish upswings, we can observe that they often occurred at the relative bottom of a retracement. For example, the starting point of the uptrend movement appears at the lower boundary of the consolidation structure, which also represents the lowest point of the overall retracement. Even in earlier market conditions, we saw a similar pattern. When the price oscillated within the box pattern, it didn't generate a valid starting point for the next upward move. Until we experienced a breakdown, then only was the new starting point generated. I also believe that the current consolidation has a high possibility of forming such a structure. What does that mean? It means that we are currently in a range-bound oscillation. Right? So far, we haven't seen a valid starting point for an upward move. However, it's possible that we might find a suitable starting point when it breaks below this consolidation range. This false breakdown could potentially provide a reasonable and consistent starting structure, aligning with the previous analysis. That would be the best entry opportunity, whether it's for initiating a position or adding to an existing one. In my case, it would be an opportunity to add to my current position. Since I already hold some positions, I'm still holding my position. I might even consider buying more near my entry price. It's not entirely impossible. Perhaps it could reach $29,000. However, if your entry price is relatively higher, as time passes and the oscillation continues, the risk increases. Alright, thank you. You're welcome to like and share my videos and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the little bell button to show me your greatest support. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.